Hello, I'm Toycat, and welcome back to the Update Adventures Let's Play. This is a world that I've had since Title Update 5, and one of the things that I love about having this as a long-term world is seeing it through all of the updates. And so, let's have an adventure with Spring to Life. I'm going to add a bunch of the new features into my world today. I'll obviously add them all at some point, it seems inevitable, but today I'm going to pick the 5 features that will make the biggest difference, and so here are the first 5 things that I'm doing with the new update. Come join me for the journey, and let's start with the first one, which is of course to do with the small source of lag you might be noticing, even on this recording, because I have a giant cow pit near spawn, and it causes me problems whenever I join my own world on mobile or Xbox, and if anyone ever joins my world and they're on one of those platforms, they have a bunch of pain, and so why don't I fix this? I've had enough meat for a while, I haven't needed the XP for quite some time, why don't we go through and replace the cows? This process is going to start with me killing as many cows as is humanly possible. I don't want to get the numbers down ridiculously low, but I want to get rid of 90% of the cows, because fun fact, more entities in your Minecraft world means more lag for people who have weaker devices, and that includes me right now, so let's make sure we get them all good and dead proper. You do not realize how many cows you have until you kill them all apparently, but now I have drastically lowered my cow population, and the reason behind that is that as much as I love these cows, they are now the boring old cows, because there are 2 fancy new types to be found, and indeed, for most worlds, this is probably something that might take you some real time, because you have to go to a hot and a cold biome, which can be quite the task for most people, but I'm quite lucky in this world was generated a long time ago, and usually that is a huge downside, but it does mean that my nearest hot and my nearest cold biome are actually not that far apart from where I am right now. So my nearest hot biome originally generated as a swamp, but in, I think it was 1.2, all of the biomes moved around underneath your world, and so my swamp has become a savanna biome. It's probably actually a desert, but in either case, it's a hot biome, and that means all I need to do is look around, and hopefully, somewhere near my ugly, my world's most beautiful Minecraft house, I should be able to find myself a cow. Okay, that's a regular cow, sitting next to my, my terrifying hole. If you haven't seen my terrifying hole, by the way, I know it might be a live stream project, but it's something very strange we found about this world. There is literally a hole through Bedrock, just one of the fun concerns you get as a world ages. You know, sometimes you get a hole that gets too big that you can't fix. But yeah, anyway, with that said, we are now going to look around the rest of this hot biome and just hope that it has a warm cow somewhere. If it doesn't, I've got a good backup biome I've got to go to. Okay, so one of my fun obsessions from way back in the day was having the perfect Minecraft grass, and so when I found a jungle biome, I deliberately built this entire flat land specifically around the idea that the grass would be beautiful as a result. And interestingly enough, it does occasionally spawn parrots, it occasionally spawns pandas, and so I'm hoping, although unsuccessfully it seems from these chickens here, that it will also spawn me some new cows. I mean, I've seen a new pig, so they definitely exist in this world. But can I find them right here? Oh, hey! It's the warm cow! that was perfect timing. Herobrine level, Deus Ex Machina. But now we've got ourselves a warm cow. We just have to find ourselves a cold cow to pair with it. So the fun thing about the changelog for this update is it clarifies basically any warm or cold biome will do as far as these things are concerned. And so you might assume I'd be a shoo-in if I could just go to this place right here. Hey! I didn't... Okay, you know what? That works. What a wonderful delight. I have to say the woolly cow is my favorite, probably of all 3 variants, right? Like, I don't know that anyone's that excited for the warm cow, but woolly cow gets me excited. Anyway, let's bring him back home now. Be very careful about our murder. Okay, so here's a really fun question that you might not have ever considered the answer to. If I have a hot and a cold cow, and I bring them right here into my neutral biome, what will happen when those 2 cows here have a child? In fact, let's have the child out here just to be simple. As you can see, you might be expecting it to be a regular cow, but it actually takes after one of its parents, and then for some reason that means ignoring me and not coming in here. But boom, now we have 3 types of cows. So now, because it's Bedrock, every single minute I can feed both of these guys together, and I'll get a brand new cow baby that will match one of its parents, and over time that should create a 50-50 balance, giving me an even balance of all 3 types of cows. And so I've taken this monochrome sea of black and white, and I've changed it into being something much more, at least colourful, right? And so we could call this, I think if we're trying to, be nice and cosmopolitan, we could call this the great cow replacement, and I think people will love that name. So while I slowly let this progress in the background, let's talk about what's going to be in the foreground, because it's the second feature that I'm excited for in this next update. So an important thing to note here is that I would love to say it's the pause feature, but because I play my Minecraft world on a realm at all times, I actually can't pause. I guess I could prove this by showing you, like, my cows. Even if I pause by looking at them, they're not actually going to pause because my world is always a server, so I don't get to enjoy this, but I do get to enjoy something else the community have wanted forever, because fireflies were not that great of an idea in my opinion, but you know, the way they've been implemented is kind of wonderful, and it gives me great inspiration for a mini mega project. So firefly bushes, like every single other new feature that is only going to be easily accessible via generation, are something I have to find in my world by going out a very long way. To the point where we start to break Minecraft's generation itself, it looks like. Oh, that's something fun. But yeah, we're going out a very long way in my world, specifically because I'm trying to find chunks that haven't quite yet loaded. Oh, yeah, that is strange. Because those chunks, when they generate, will have leaf litter, wildflowers, bushes, and of course, much more exciting than any of that, because it has a light level, the firefly bush. So my strategy, there's two easy ones if you have a long-term world, and you're worried about unnecessary exploration, and seeing disappearing sheep. The easiest strategy is simply to load up a copy of your world, find where the items are, and then get there as simply as possible. But if you want to explore in the raw copy of your world, like we are here, what I recommend doing is just traveling in a straight line. This minimizes the number of chunks explored, and then looking for a feature that will tell you it's a new chunk. In my case, I know for a fact that if I see leaf litter, which I'm still not seeing, by the way. In fact, was that an old village? But if I see leaf litter, I know for a fact that it must be a new chunk, and so no leaf litter, no new chunks. Oh, but leaf litter means this is a brand new chunk, and so I could take some of the leaf litter back with me. I don't really need to do it, but, you know, I'm here anyway. Oh, this is weird. The leaf litter generated on the trunk of the diseased tree. Okay, that's strange. But yeah, I'm just going to look around now to find any wildflowers, if I can. I would be desperately happy. And any bushes. And if we happen to end up near water, we might even find a firefly bush. So as you can see, I'm just having no luck here. But this is what you'll need to do on your long-term survival worlds if you want to make sure that you have a copy of these things too. And sometimes it feels like a bit weird and convoluted, the steps you have to go through. But oh, wow. I mean, it's technically near water, right? Heck yes. That's a firefly bush. That's a firefly bush. That's a firefly bush. And unlike the regular bushes and everything else, I don't even need to use bone meal. But actually, just to be sure that we don't mess this up in some way, let's use some bone meal, end up with a ton of copy of these, and then now that way, I can't accidentally, you know, drop them on the ground, get them exploded, and lose them. I'll always have enough firefly bushes. So, can we find regular bushes? Is that... Oh, that's one there. Okay. So that's a regular bush, although again, gotta make sure that I have enough bushes that I don't lose it to some freak creeper explosion. There we go. That should do great. And so now I'm just missing wildflowers, which, I mean, I don't need them right now, but I would like to get it done, you know? Like, so if I want to use wildflowers, it's easy to choose to, but not forced on me. But I see no wildflowers, therefore I have no wildflowers. I guess this isn't a birch forest, technically. Yeah, just loads more bushes, no wildflowers, and if you find yourself in this situation where you're missing one of the 4 items, my pro tip for you would just be, wait for the wandering trader, all of your problems will go away, and you might even find a woolly cow. I can't bring you back, but it's wait, look at that church over there. Am I seeing that correctly? Is that an optical illusion? Minecraft sure does be Minecraft sometimes, huh? Anyway, on the way out though, what's really important is I'm going to take the exact same route to go home that I took to get in. At least the same route until I see a nether portal, because I don't want to upload any unnecessary chunks, even though I can see over there right now, those chunks probably haven't been loaded, and so they're not saved to my world data, and so if the next update comes out and it's a spruce forest update, that spruce forest might get a whole load better. I don't know for sure right now, and I hope that they don't make the next update a Spruce Forest update, but again, a thing about having a long-term world is about being prepared for these eventualities, and so that's what I try my best to be. Okay, now for my plans for the Firefly Bush and how they're going to change my world, so I'll grab, let's say, 4 or 5 stacks of bones, And here's what we're going to do. This is my giant flatland that you might have seen earlier, and the basic idea behind it is that I want to have a place where mobs will spawn, and it's very easy to fight them. You're never getting snuck up on when you're on a giant flatland, because you just have to look around you, see nothing, and then do it again. And so what's interesting about this is there is a problem in that at night, if I'm here, say, fighting enemies, mobs will spawn at the very, very edge and cause a bit of a pain, and also I think it's a bit of an ugly ending to the flatland. I can solve both of these problems at the same time using firefly bushes. That's because I can simply place them down and... oh, controller died. I can place those down, and then with some lovely bone meal, I can go ahead and I can make... oh, actually, look at this. You can make them in a row. Oh, I've discovered something right here, right now. I thought I was going to have to just make a ton and then place them manually. But actually, it turns out we basically can magically make a firefly bush entirely out of thin air using... but wow, that is very, very fun. Wow, look at all these firefly particles appearing as it gets dark. That's one of the fun side effects of what I wanted to do here. But yeah, by creating this extra light, I've also apparently created the coolest thing to walk through. Wow. As you can see, a mini big project. It took a lot of bone meal, less than I was expecting, but now I've created something special. Now I've created something very special. Let's make them in a row over here, just so we... actually, let's do it along the edge there, and then we can decide to get rid of them, or if we really like it, we can decide to keep them too. Look at all these fireflies from the background, right? Anyway, though, that is the second thing that I find to be absolutely fascinating, and that I think is a positive addition to my Minecraft world. And now I've even got some spare firefly bushes that I can use to make other wonderful places from. I might add some atmosphere to a biome at some point, but no, I think that's a cool little corner. But let's now work on the third wonderful thing that I think is great about this update. If you somehow haven't already heard the good news from my channel or from anywhere else on the internet or from the update changelog itself, let me share it with you now. Basically, if you have stone, I'm going to need so much stone by the way, if you have stone, you can turn that stone, if you have 1/8 as much iron, into lodestones now, a recipe that previously required chiseled stone bricks and netherite ingots. That's because we can take our stone, turn them into chiseled stone bricks. You don't have to use that god-awful crafting recipe for it. You can just chisel them up right here, and then once we've chiseled our blocks in the stone cutter, which we'll do in very large numbers, then we can magically turn these into lodestones, because the new lodestone crafting recipe is so much easier. 48 lodestones. This would have taken me hours of mining before, but now it took me, you know, like 25 seconds to explain it and do it. Now, having so many lodestones is great, partially because it means that you can use them for their intended purpose. I'm going to put a lodestone up here, I'm going to link a compass to it, and now I can rename this compass and let people know this will lead them to my cave house. That's right, this is the cave house compass. Cave house. I don't know if I should put it in all caps. I'm in an all caps mood recently. I've mentioned my weird results of testing that in YouTube titles. People used to hate the all caps titles, and now they're falling back in love with them. But anyway, at the interesting, or at least they are clicking them in higher numbers, oddly, weirdly enough. But what's interesting about this is I can now put my cave house compass, interestingly enough, right over there, and now anyone can be easily led to my cave house using this. So this is great. You now have easier access to lodestones for their intended purpose. But also, what about their unintended purpose? If you really want to, and you better believe just for fun I do, you could also choose to use them as a floor decoration. As maybe this could fit part of a pattern. That might be something that you're kind of enjoying the vibe of. I have a bunch of square blocks right here, targets and bee nests, and I think that they fit really nicely with a few lodestones. I probably have to do the other side too, though. I think it just looks a little bit strange if we let it get cut off out of nowhere. Oh, also, there's a lodestone down here already. I probably already have a compass pointing to the cave house. This would be really crazy and frustrating were it not for the fact that actually I've already solved. I have enough lodestones that I don't need to stress about this. But yeah, I also have enough lodestones that I can finally, decide to upgrade any part of my world. Hey, I was wrong. I haven't linked to that for some reason. Let's link to it. Cave house. I'll confuse people when they get there, and it doesn't point at the lodestone they can see, but that's entirely fine to me. And so yeah, let's go ahead and let's show you what else I have to do, because here's a weird little detail. I have a giant blast furnace I built actually pretty close to my Let's Play house back when blast furnaces first came out. And something that I used to do at the time, and I still think it's like okay to do, but I've kind of fallen out of favor of, is this idea of using grass as the base of the build. Like, why build a floor when Minecraft literally gives you one? But yeah, since then I've kind of decided, like, you know what, I think this would look nicer. It'd look more like the inside of a blast furnace, were I to replace the floor, maybe with some stone or some wool. But instead of using stone or wool, why use either of those complicated, blocks? Then I can use this complicated block instead. I actually named two of the least complicated blocks in Minecraft, but imagine that I didn't for the sake of my argument. Look at this! We now have lodestones that we can tile to create a floor, and honestly, it's a pretty decent floor, right? It actually also fits this build in particular quite well, and so now I'm going to remove the entire thing and replace it with these. But yeah, I think to kind of round up my point from earlier, I just wanted to, say, because a lot of people wonder, like, how it is that you do something for so long, and the answer is by realizing that you're not doing the same thing for that long. I think this is true. This is something that should be obvious to anyone who's ever started a diet or something like that. It's very rare that you start a diet and then for the rest of your life you continue it. No, you start the diet and then at some point you drop off it, but hopefully you've made healthier long-term changes from those small changes that you made during it. If you haven't, then you haven't achieved anything, right? The actual, the point of making changes is to have a better, stable result. And yeah, sometimes, I think that this has like a lot of negative, connotations and implications. But actually, it's the thing that helps me best. Whenever something really rough is happening, literally, I'm sure someone out there has this exact same thing, where you feel like literally you're dying in some way. Like your internals are telling you, like, this is the worst it'll ever be. What's the point of any of this when it hurts so bad and blah, 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 blah. Your body is giving you all those physiological signals that, like, yeah, you messed up real bad. But if you actually remind yourself, even though this feels like the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone, actually, yeah, the nature of change being everywhere all the time is a great thing, because in the case of you going through some bad stuff, it is guaranteed to be bad stuff that ends. Because change affects everything, even the very worst things. And if you're ever worried about anything in life, just remember, it will end. It'll pass. Oh, wait, there's a new wandering trader. Oh, exciting. Let's try and get some wildflowers from him. Okay, no wildflowers. He is willing to buy baked potatoes or buckets of milk, though, and I feel like, given that's a new feature, I've got to do it at least once in this new world. Look at this, internet. I'm going to generate emeralds from thin air using whichever one of these... Are there any baked potatoes anywhere around here? I have a giant baked potato farm on the other side of my world, so instead what I'll do is take a couple of valuable buckets and... actually, let's milk my brand new cows. Look at you. You're perfect for the milking. And then let's go back to your boy, who presumably should be drinking a potion of invisibility, and let's sell him, enough to get 4 emeralds. It'd be nice if he gave me the bucket back when he was done, but whatever, I'll take it. Anyway, back to lodestone floor. This is clearly something I set up for the sake of the Let's Play world in the marketplace. Try and find all the cats. The reward is nothing. Absolutely beautiful. I gotta say, high quality world, no notes. Do you think I'll get the cat trapped in the ground if I... Oh, no, yeah, I will. Okay, sounds like an issue for future me. Speaking of future me, I've now filled in the entirety of the floor. Boom. Isn't that nice? Yeah, actually, wait, this feels out of place. I didn't remove it because it felt like a special block, but yeah, as you can see, I do think it is a nice little upgrade to the space. It now feels like a little mechanical workshop, and now I kind of want to add other stuff to it. I've got an auto sorter for smelting. I've got this auto campfire with... Oh, actually, I'm glad I'm... This is why it's so useful to, like, say thoughts out loud sometimes. It's because you'll realize some things that you just otherwise wouldn't. Like, I forgot to put my minecart hopper running around it. But now I have. And now this place is looking delightful, if you tell me. Or if you ask me. You know, hopefully you tell me that too. And all I have to do from here is simply jump outside and work out what the 4th thing I'm going to add to my world is. Because my easy instinct, and what I immediately went and did on a live stream, was to go and take some chickens from each of the brand new biomes, but I kind of feel like it's cheating to kind of stat pad an update by saying, look how many new features there are. There's warm cows, warm chickens, cold chickens. I do think that chickens have the best argument for collecting, which is why I've taken my museum, which used to just have mushrooms and a couple of camels, and I've separated them out, so I now have these chickens and these chickens being separate. So if I want to collect blue and brown eggs to make blue and brown cakes. The cakes don't appear any different, but it is fun, right? But if I want to do this, I totally can. Isn't that delightful? But yeah, I think the chickens are nice, but I think another change that I actually want to make to my world is to take advantage of a drop that I never really played with when it was fresh, and that is the Armored Claws update. That's because I went and collected every wolf variant on a brand new speedrun world, and the amount of pain that it is to get the rarest wolf just made me not want to do it. So I got the easiest wolf instead, but now that we have new wolf variants, not just in colors but in sounds, I figure why not collect a new sounding wolf from probably my favorite looking biome, and so that's task number 4. I have to find my nearest savanna plateau, which is a bit of a struggle because all of this, at least the Xbox 360 size world, generated before savanna biomes existed in any variation, let alone plateaus, so I might have to head a while out. But let's go find ourselves a new wolf. Anyway, what I am going to do right now is go to where the cherry grove is, because I'm pretty sure my cherry grove is near a savanna plateau. I might be entirely misremembering, but let's go to my first lead, I guess, and see where that takes us. Oh, my literal portal is in a savanna. I don't know if this is a plateau, but it does go up a hill. But does it just go up a hill because there's cherry grove trees here? What is that cherry grove tree doing there, by the way? I don't know. This is actively confusing. Did I put it there? Anyway, so the interesting thing is that I now just have to look around until I find a wolf. I'm probably going to find sheep and cows, the things I needed earlier, but I'm going to ignore those because I'm looking for dogs. This is definitely not a dog. It's very cute, though. Maybe it can lead me in the right direction. Oh my god, I finally found one. I was literally about to give up and go eat lunch. And I found your boy the Calico Cat, but as a dog instead. And hopefully... oh, thank god. This is enough for me to tame him. I even brought some fun colors, so I could give him a slightly different color that better matches the rest of him. Ah, isn't that cute? Anyway, let's... wait, I didn't even check he's got a new sound, actually. I don't know if there's an easy way to do this, so... that sounded new to me. Okay, let's go. By sheer coincidence. No, 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 no! Why is Wolf AI so bad? Well, you know, at least I didn't go far, I guess we could say. Okay, so I need to find another wolf, but obviously one bone isn't going to be enough, so I'm going to go and kill an entire school right now. Oh my god, what? I got 7 bones from that one... what? Okay, don't need to kill the entire school of fishes. Just one is plenty, it seems. Wow, is looting broken on swords? Or are you meant to be able to get 6 bones from a single fish? I'm gonna lower view. Looking at these side by side, I don't think that a cod can contain that many. But I'm happy either way. It means I'm probably not gonna lose my next wolf to silly never shenanigans. Okie dokie. You, I'm gonna be much more careful with. Don't worry. Oh, I'm gonna need all these bones apparently. Oh no! What? Okay. I'm so glad I killed that second fish, but so shocked that I needed to. I could even be tactical about this and say, look, I might need more than one wolf. You know, what's the worst that can happen? I'm just kidding. My wolf is doing great. He's even managing to scare away a piglin, which is behavior I didn't know was real till just now. Oh, he's even managed to get him on fire. No, 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 no. No, 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 not this again. Please, wolf. Please do not, whatever you do, run into more fire. Please. I beg you. The Never is a bad place for a wolf to be. Okay, he's back safely, and so now I can take this freeloader, who is from a different biome, and replace him with my much more preferred wolf, except also, do you know what we can do? I actually don't know how you dye wolf armor. Do you put it on the wolf first, and then you dye it? But anyway, we can put the armor on my new dog. We kind of ruined his look there. And then we can dye it. No. How do you dye wolf armor? Oh, of course it's the cauldron. Damn it. How did I get the armor off the other guy? Wait, how did I... do I have to punch him? Oh, I'm sorry. How did I just managed to take it off you. How did I get it? Okay, I'll sort this in the morning. How did I get him off? How did I get that off the... How did I get the armor off? How do you unequip wolf armor? Right-click the wolf. Oh, I just happen to be using shears. You have to shear a wolf to get his armor. You're not gonna question it. Just gonna go enjoy my wolf armor. Okay, here we go. You better believe I've got green wolf armor now. It actually, honestly, I'm gonna level you. Wolf armor does not look very good. Even when you dye it, it still mostly looks like armadillos, but you know, this is my new friend now. I don't need this guy. Should I do something with him? You know what? I should check they've got different wolf noises first. Oh, yeah, that's a very different noise. Anyway, though, let's feed him. And let's leave him in their love mode. And let's see if they resolve this issue while we move into the 5th and final fun new update feature. So, I'm going to be real with you. I mentioned this many times before, but for me, the biggest change is lodestones by such a wide metric that everything else is just kind of gravy or window dressing, you could say. However, despite that fact being true, I still have one last thing that I would like to do in this update. Okay, so my 4th feature was a variant of a mob, right? But my 5th feature is going to be a fun little segment from the Let's Play I figured we'd bring back for this special update occasion, and it's going to be my little cursed museum. I have my regular museum, which I've now got a fun pointer to, and I've got the cursed one, which I keep fairly hidden because I like to just put some weird things in there. So this is a white sheep. At least that's what he is right now, but if I use this blue dye on him, I can make him a if I make this into blue dye first, I can make him a cursed, removed Minecraft sheep. That's right, in the spring drop, they were going to add blue and red sheep. That was their idea of variants, and I think that's kind of a funny idea personally, but they were going to add blue and red sheep, but the backlash was so high, they decided not to. And I figured, you know, the perfect fit for this in my world, if there's going to be one, would be in this area right here. If you recall why this exists, that is the most cursed I've ever seen a sheep eat grass, by the way. The reason this area exists has some fun history, which perfectly fits in with this sheep, in my opinion. So I'm going to take a sheep, I'm going to put him on a lead, and attach him to a fence over there, I guess. This is kind of fun by itself, but extra fun is the idea of like, oh yeah, I can have my cold variant sheep, and then I can use another feature that Mojang just added, which is desert sounds. If you have sand, which is next to other sand, it has a small chance of playing desert sounds when you're next to it. And I've never actually heard this in Minecraft Bedrock. I don't think I could just about spot it in Java during the snapshots, but I'm going to put down enough sand here that I can hopefully hear this myself. So, new sheep, new sand. Can you hear anything new? No, I can hear what sounds like a nether portal somewhere. Oh, it's a beacon. Are there any desert sounds in this corner? For bonus points, I could make this extra fun by deliberately putting some dry grass down and then shearing my sheep so that he wouldn't be able to grow his wool, but I think that's a little bit too cruel, and so I'll just leave my sheep right here forever. Have a good day, friend. Hope you enjoy your time with all of my other silly little exhibits in here. Anyway, though, this has been my special Spring to Life episode of the Update Adventures Let's Play, and in it, I've enjoyed... I think I've done a surprising amount of the updates in this first kind of day or two already, and honestly, I think that's a good thing. I think that having smaller drops like this is good, because you can choose to engage with an amount of content that you like to, and then you get to know that there's another update coming shortly afterwards, and that's actually kind of awesome to me. I always felt like with 1.20 and 1.21 that I was so busy focusing on the biggest things that I would miss these kind of smaller features, but now I've left a permanent little mark on my world, and I like that personally. I think that's awesome. But what do you think? Do you feel like these are great additions to your survival worlds? Because I found them to be great to mine. But yeah, as always, this is, actually not as always, but in this particular case, I'd like to know your thoughts, because I'm excited to do all of the other things I'll be doing in this world between now and the summer drop, and you can join me for precisely that by subscribing to the channel. And in case you think to yourself, well, everyone tells me to subscribe to a cat, most YouTubers don't give you vaguely threatening statistics if you don't, and so, did you know, greater than 99% of people who choose to subscribe don't regret something that happens to them later that day. Oh, that one was a little bit too threatening, wasn't it? Let's go back to something nicer. Did you know 99% of people who subscribe to the IBX Toy Cat channel choose not to unsubscribe within the first 3 weeks? So, get your free trial to a subscription. That's such a lame thing to say. It's always a free trial. Anyway, speaking of free trial, this is your free trial to the outro over. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.